Select your stream. Lovely. Right, so where we continued, where we left off, right, now, when it comes to this section, and I'm going to actually, because I want to continue this one part that where we left off on there. So basically, the issue that I had, it wasn't lining up, and there was a reasons why it wasn't lining up, because what's not making it very clear in the book and on videos, you have to lay these down and not stand these up. Otherwise, this won't line up and it will throw it off. So this is a crucial in part that you need to line up on that front. So lay these down, then put the short piece on top of laying on top of it. So basically, it then sits flush. But if you stood these up, that then raises above, then this won't sit flat. So this is crucial that you need to lay these down. And the book doesn't go into too much detail of it tells you to lay these down. But we've got there. We now can fit and continue the part where we left off, which that's exactly what we need to do. So now this all lines up lovely now. We're now not running into any problems, which is great. So the second, so what we're going to do is going to continue the part where we left off. So we now need the blue parts. So, which I'm going to now tip the rest of the bag out now, because we are going to need mainly all these small parts that's laying up. So first things first, we need 10 of the little small black ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that is of the 2s. Right, so we've got 10 of the 2s, and we need 2 of the corners. 1, 2. Right, we'll ignore them because we don't need them at the minute. So again, facing this has to be facing away towards you. This has to be laying down, this has to be straight. So this makes sense. So now we're starting from this corner, because we're doing the corners. So first things first, straight away, looking at that, is that we need to put that in that corner, so that bonds it. Then that corner there, so we need the straights now. 3 straights, 2, 3. And then we're going to need 2, because we've already got half a corner. That then lines that up, which it does. Now we reverse, so we move it over. We now are doing this corner. Same thing, but the opposite. So we're bridging now to make a stronger connection. 3 of them. 3 of them. That's it. And we should be left with 2 bricks, like that, and we are. So now we can continue where we left off. Perfect. We have now got somewhere. So the next part on the book, we're going to need 6 of the small ones. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Exactly 6, and 4 of them, which it is exactly 4. You should not be left with any parts out of this. So at the end of the day, so looking at the books, we need to put 1 long one, which we do because this is going to be on display. 1 at this end, and then 1 at the bottom, 1 at the bottom, and then the remaining is going to go exactly where these are. So that's it, and it's going to be the last 2, and that is, so we're left with this. It's exactly what we're left with. So this fits perfect. This is the exactly right way. That is pointing down, that is flush, and it's right. Now we can follow now we can continue where we left off. We can now put the Pac-Mans. So we should have all of the ghosts in here now. We put them in. You can put these in any order you want. You don't have to. You don't have to put these in the correct order, but I'm going to, because I want to make sure that I follow everything in here. So obviously, because you know, it's all down to personal preference. So you need one of each, obviously. So we're going to take one of them out, one of them out, one of them out, and one of the blues, because we're obviously going to need them for others. Oh, one of the orange. So you should be pink, blue, red, the Pac-Man, and the other orange one of the ghosts. So now, following this end, I'm going to count up. So of the things, so we're going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the 8th one along. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Pac-Man should be on the 8th, which it is. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, put the Pac-Man in the wrong one. Let me take Pac-Man out. Sorry, that's mine. It says on the 8th. That's what it says on there. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He should be on the 8th one. So when you're looking on here, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Pac-Man should be on this one. And we want to be facing him down. Right, so that's how we want to be facing Pac-Man. So we space one and put the red one. So it looks like he's being chased. So one looks like he's being chased. At the end of it. This is where you're going to need a small pair of tweezers, because now you've got to try and line them up. Which is... Yep, that's good. And we want an orange one. Good. So you're missing one gap and put in the orange ghost. So it looks like Pac-Man is being chased away. So he's on the chase. Like he's running away from the ghost itself. But as I said, you can put these in any order you want. You can have it so it looks like he's chasing. But I look like I'm going to follow it exactly what it says in the book. So far, we've got the Pac-Man's. Looks like he's running away. So the next one is the pink. So as before, one in the gap of each other. So it looks like he's running that. And the last one would be the blue. Again. Running that. And it is. So now you can see that we've got the ghosts chasing Pac-Man, which that's exactly what we want. So that's done. Now the next part is going to be, if I don't get any more ink on me, that's going to be difficult. We're going to need 2 of these and 2 cogs. What are they, small cogs? Again, I assume they are small cogs. They probably will be, because they've got to fit inside here. Don't think these big cogs would have fitted in. No. So it's going to be the 2 dark cogs. There's only 2 dark cogs. So what we do, we're going to put one end of that. Oh, I see. So the way these are, because people don't go into detail, and I love going into detail. So what we need to do is put these like screw parts so they just slot inside, and then that's it. So we look like, you know, now you should have these fits inside these 2 holes, so you can pop these in and then it spins. If we follow the pictures, that's exactly what the picture says, right? So at the end of the day, which is good. So that's now sorted. The other parts now, we're going to need to work on the cogging system, which is going to be, you're going to need 1 big cog, that's what it's saying on there, And we're going to need one big long red shaft, which we've got in this bag. So we got a couple of these, right? So we're going to need one of the little couplings, which we've got one of them couplings at the end of it, and two of these, which we've got, right? We've got two of these flat things with the round ones on there, but yeah, that's what we need. So what we need to do next then, while looking at on there, first things first, we need to take, because there ain't no correct way of using these cogs, so we're just going to put the bit in the centre, right, and then we're going to fetch the, looks like, now this is where it's important, these obviously go around a certain way of the orientation of the, so what does it do? Does it go at the, because again, this is where it's got to be important, does it sit on the, does it sit flush? Because it's not saying otherwise. I'm going to say yes it did, because the reasons why I say that, because that felt a lot easier to slide on. If I tried it the other way, oh no, it does go both ways. But one side has got like a slight groove and a notch. The other side is a smooth. And again, it doesn't go into detail. No surprise there. But for looking at it on the picture, it looks like that groove side faces to, away. So the smooth side of that, but then in saying that, it shouldn't do, because look at them notches, it looks like it fits in them notches bits there. So again, it's misleading. It was bad enough with that other part. I mean, let me see if that fits it, if that sits right with them. Yeah, it does. So again, the correction that this is not telling you, again, at the end of it, if you look at the, of these little red bits, you've got like, it's sort of like beveled, the other one's smooth. So it looks like the beveled bit actually fits in with the sort of the confiture of the actual cog itself, because you can see it's all curved. It's got like a curving, like carvings, and that carving seemed to match up. So I've put it that side, because again, it doesn't, looking at the book, again, it looks like it's the other way, which is weird, because, you know, I mean, again, it's really difficult to see. I mean, it really is difficult. They've not made that easy at the end of the day. I mean, you know, it's, unless it's for one of these is got to sit inside. So now I'm gonna swell it round the other side. I think that's a sensible move, because again, they've not mentioned anything of this whatsoever. So centre, I'm going to put the smooth side at the back and the grooved side facing up. So that's what that's what I've done. I faced it up. So there's got to be a reasons why, and we need to put two of these together, the two bits on these. So put them on there, and then I'm going to basically, it looks like it's got to go through the middle one, which it does, and then I assume, yeah, it does. So we've got now like this is going to be the gearing mechanism, so you can obviously see that this fits now perfect within two cogs. So this is obviously going to be the handle for one part of the thing. So of part of the bar top itself. So we've established that it's telling you to put it in, but it's not showing you a picture. But looking at the picture, it says put it through the shaft. But again, you got to guess, because it's not telling you otherwise. All it just shows you is just shove it through, but it's not showing you the other side. It's got to sit in the centre. It just tells you it sticks through the centre, and this bit goes on it. So, which does make sense, because these look like this is where the cogs will sit. Because look, you probably got enough room for another cog there, but not enough room for another cog on this one. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when we get to that part. So the next part we're going to need then is some pink. 2 pink, which we've got 2 pink. Another 2 of them. Yep, we have got another 2. Lovely. Alright, okay. Now, I did see that red part, which is here. I need that long part and another long of the stick, which we have. Great. Okay. So the next part is put these 2 together. They stand on top of each other. So I assume this is going to be another part. So we've put these 2 parts, they've got stamped together. So these 2 are sandwiched. So the small parts, they will go up one end like that, and the other part goes on the other end. So it should be facing like that, basically. So yeah, weird setup. Right, now the pink part looks like on here, this part here, because it's obviously got like this cut out, has to go one before the end, so it's partly sticking up. So as you can see, so you should just have a little small piece like that, so you can actually see. And then it looks like this small piece on that then has that long piece, that shaft that goes in that end. So this is going to be an handle. I'm pretty sure this looks like an handle to me, the build up at the end of it. So yeah, right, so which is interesting. So now we need to take this, right, obviously it's got to go that side because of the Pac-Man, it's got facing towards you. And now it looks like to me that what side is it? No, it's the other side. So where the Pac-Man is, the pink needs to be up the top because this is going to be the handle, right? Obviously that's what it looks like to me, because now it's come through and we've got a hole and it matches, which it does. It's exactly it. So the next part is that we need a small cog, one big cog and a small it says small, there's the small cog. We're probably going to need that small cog. That small cog then has to go through. So again, orientation. So what we want to do is make sure Pac-Man goes up. We want to lay it this way. So this is at the bottom, right? Take your small cog. There's no right way to put this, so they're identical. You just slot that in, and that now slots in right up to where this is, basically. So we now need to then put a cog on top. Again, orientation, it doesn't matter. That then sits in, slides in, right? So now we've got this section. So we've got this orientation there, and now, because you've got the small cog and you've got the Pac-Man. So again, that small cog is important, but it's not turning at the moment because, yeah, that's actually a good point. Why is that? There's got to be a reason for it. We'll wait and see. Right. Now, we did have a little handle, which we have got. So we need one of them little handles. We need one of the last of the long four ones, one of these little connections, and that little handle. So this is going to be where the handle is going to go. So it again looks like, because the way the picture is shaping, the way this is, we want to keep it in this orientation. So we want to make sure we keep it there. So where we've left one little gap, right, so it looks like the cog will go through, it's got to go through to, now, is there a right of way? Yes. Where there's there's a number 4 on this, which again it don't tell you, right? There's a number 4. It just shows you a picture, and it's pointing to the number 4. You put the long shaft through to the number 4, so it's pointing this way, right? So this is the orientation that you want. Make sure you keep it at number 4, right? So we've got there at number 4, and then it looks like we have to poke that through the hole, which it does, and then it gives you this look, right? So obviously there's nothing connected yet because we haven't got nothing connected on this handle, but then we have we've got to take this part and put this inside. And again, as I mentioned before, you've got a round side and a beveled side, like a notch cutout. So basically the notch cutout side has to go in and push towards the back, which we've got, right? So this is how it's, because it's going to show you on the next picture, right? Which it done. It just says put another cog in. Am I not surprised? At the end of the day, just put the big cog straight into that, so then it sits and it all sits flush. So now we have a complete system set on that front. So hopefully, right. But what I don't quite understand, why is that side, what's the genuine idea of that if you can't move it, if you can't push that aside to one, because again, this is where it's not being, this is where it's really confusing, because you can't turn this now. Obviously there's no turning point on any of these. So the idea was you to spin the handle round, but we'll wait and see. We'll get to that part when we come to it, because we've already come to one bloody hiccup and that took ages. So this is continuing still the first part. So what we need now, we need do we need flat pieces? Yes, we need one flat piece and one of these squares, because these are all the same. Look, they're all the same, so it ain't going to make no difference what one you've got there at the end of the day. So we take one of each and we'll put them at the corner, right? That's exactly where we put it. So we put the flat piece on there, right? And then we need another 2 and a small piece, which are going to be in this bag. We need 2 of them, which there is 2. God, this phone don't stop bloody pinging. It's constantly pinging all the time. Drives me up the wall. Right, so we want to put one at one side, one at the other, and then one at either end, so it overhangs. Obviously this is going to be for another part at the end of the day, so it should look like that. So small piece, long piece at the top, and then that way overhangs. Right, that's what it says in the book. That's what I followed. Right, interesting. Now we do the same. It looks like we have to put another part sandwiched in between. So now it's creating a long piece. Right, great. Now it looks like we repeat and do the same again, which should be 2 last pieces, which it is, 2 last pieces, which it is, at the end of the day, and we rinse and repeat again. So on the second part, at the end of the day, we don't put the small parts in, we leave the long parts bonded over, right? And then obviously once this section goes on, right, once that bit goes on there, he's saying on this section, no, we didn't need them small parts, they're for something else. It's 2 of these. Right, this is what I'm saying about this book. It's really confusing. So it looks like we have to go across where the stems join, because again, see where this centre piece is, we need to put a joint where they've got these flat pieces. We need to put them over that joint. So what it does, it bridges this in the centre, so it gives it strength, which sits like that. Right, great. Now we take the last piece and we just repeat and do that again, basically. So what we need now we need them 2 pieces. And we've got one small piece left in that little bag, which I'm going to put in there. So on this last piece, we need one last piece of this, 2 of them, 2 of them, which is right. So what we need to do is long piece at the bottom. So all we're doing is repeating what we've done at the top here, basically. We're putting the 2 pieces to bridge in the centre, so across, so it strengthens this side. And then the little ones go at the side, and it does. It bridges that. So perfect. Right. Now this looks like for the back at the end of the day. So, and it's telling you to take this off for some reason. Don't know why, but it's telling you to take it off. Right, because we've got to make something up here. So we'll get to that in a minute. But it's telling you to take it off with the tool which I've got. Now the back, obviously, at the moment this is working, as you can see. When I press this, this works. This is what's dealing with the handle. You can see the handle moving. Right. So what we need to do now is put the back on to this, and it's got to cover the back of it, basically, which it does. It snaps on, and it all snaps together, and it does. It fits beautiful. Now, because this bit here, this is the bit that's going to be on top of the bar top, where your characters are going to be sitting, I think. And I think that's what that button's for. So your characters move. So, you know, now it's telling you in the book, because it tells you to take it off, take that section off, but leave this on. So you should have 2 of them and that, which we do. We definitely have that. So it's telling you now, right? See, this is what I don't understand. Why did it tell you in the book to put it together? Now you've been told to take it off. This is what I don't. This is what I can't understand. The book tells you one thing. Next minute, it's telling you to take it off. Why? At the end of it, it's not making any sense. So, and you follow the guide. So you honestly think like, no, I've done it properly, you know. So we leave that off. So it's telling us to take that off, and then strip it back down. But then why did it ask you to put it together in the other section of the book? It's absolutely balmy. It really is balmy. Right, so we'll take the other brick off at the end of the day. And these ain't easy, because like you said, now I've got to try and strip that apart. Which, why did the book say put it together, and then this section's saying take it apart? Which, and it says you don't need any other tools. Well, how can you get these apart? Once these sandwiched, these are absolute nightmare to work with. So anyway, I've stripped it all down. Right, I'll take that piece off. There's nothing on that now. I've followed the guide of what it says. But the book top part says take it off. Right, flip it off with the tool. Okay, fair enough. Right, this is where you need bag 2. Right. I think I know why they said that. Is because when you're putting this together, I assume that locks it into place, so you can't press nothing. So when you're trying to put these together, that is like a locking tool, because that is the handle. That physically is the handle that is telling you to put at the end of it. So yeah, not making much sense on that front. And on there, oh god, now I've pulled that out. Let's put this back on. Sorry guys, I've pulled the bloody cog back out. Alright, let's put the cog back in. So I've got to pull that. So I need to put the cog back into this. So this is all got, you've got to make sure that these cogs all line up. Yeah, Lego. Easy to work with. Right. And that's another thing, guys. Make sure that that is lined in with these. Make sure this is not lined at an angle. This has got to be straight. Because when you press it, it's all got to return. So if this is at an angle, take it back off, straighten it in line with these two. So when you press it, it'll flip one side to the other, and then that. So that's sorted. So we you know, just bear that in mind when you're putting these things together, because again, it's very finicky. The book's very confusing sometimes. You know, it tells you to put it together, next minute it's telling you to take it apart. But I know why they've done it. It's probably for that reason. And I can give this a good clean after, because the trouble is, because you're adding this a lot, you're going to put a lot of fingerprint marks, because this is very glossy and you want this on display. Right, anyway, main thing is we need bag 2. So what I need to do is that if I put all these little bits back in the bag, because you don't want to lose them, right? Is that for, yeah, these look like for the Pac-Man, for just sit on top of it, basically. So yeah, I was right on that front. So that's part of the handle, so we don't want to lose them at the end of the day. We finish bag 1, then I can come on to bag 2, because again, after you look like you've done your Pac-Mans, and there is a lot of Pac-Mans to be, you know, to go on to that section. Yeah, there actually is. So yeah, so really, if I'm on bag 2, this should be part 2. So I'm probably going to end the stream, and we're going to continue part 2 where we last left off, which makes sense because I need to edit this, because I've run into a problem when I put this together. Because of this, it wasn't sitting, so I've got to edit that, which I will. So I'm going to end the stream there, and you know, and we'll continue where we left off on part 2 on that front. So
yeah, scrape, 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 scrape.